want to actually start making positive changes in your life, you need to prove to yourself that you can do it. Make changes because you like who you are and you deserve good things. I want you to picture this. Imagine you're scrolling on TikTok, you're scrolling on Instagram, you're scrolling on YouTube, whatever your social media of choice is, and you want to start a wellness journey. And so you're scrolling and you're scrolling and you're scrolling, and you're being bombarded with all of this different nutrition information, fitness advice, and just tips for overall living a good lifestyle. But the problem is you're hearing information that is contradicting one another. So one person says to eat this way, one person says to do the complete opposite, and you're left confused, frustrated, and honestly want to give up altogether. First of all, I want to say I am proud of you for wanting to better your health. That is always a good thing. And second, I totally understand how you feel. Even as a dietitian and a certified personal trainer, I see videos and then I start to confuse myself. I'm like, well, I don't do this. Is this how it's supposed to be? Where's the research to back this? Is there any? So if I'm confused, I can just imagine how other people must feel. This is why I decided to make this video and take you through a series on how to start a wellness journey that is actually going to be 1, easy for you to do, and 2, sustainable in the long term. Sure, you can listen to any advice out there that's going to tell you to try all of these different diets or try all of these different workouts, wake up at 5 a.m. or make sure you're getting 9 hours of sleep. But I want to make sure that you're doing something that works well for you and your lifestyle. And I'm going to take you through really simple steps at the beginning, and then we'll ramp it up from there. The biggest key when it comes to starting a wellness journey is to start small and add small little changes over time. When we start to add too much to our plate all at once, it can be really overwhelming and it can be really taxing on us. And after a few days or even a few weeks, we're tired of it and we give up, and then the endless cycle continues. So in this video, we're going to start right at the basics. And then in future videos, I will help you continue on and add in things that might be a little bit more complex when you're ready. And today we're just gonna start with 4 simple steps so you can start your wellness journey. If you like my videos, I would love for you to like and subscribe. It really does help me reach more people like you. So let's get started. The first step is to drink more water. Now I know what you're thinking, you've heard it before, drink more water, yada, 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 but really we need to start with the basics. The reason why is because if you want to actually start making positive changes in your life, you need to prove to yourself that you can do it. Now, if you start off with a really, really big goal, it might be really difficult to attain, especially if it's something that you're not used to doing. So if we can start off with something as simple as drinking a little bit more water every day, you're telling your brain that you are capable of making positive changes. And this helps to build momentum to putting in more complex changes over time. So what I want you to do is for the next week, all I want you to focus on is drinking an extra cup or 2 of water. That is it. Now, if you drink a lot of pop or soda or really sugary drinks or energy drinks, I would encourage you to try to replace those with a glass of water instead. Now, I'm not telling you to cut it out completely, but maybe just replace one if you can. Now, the reason I want to also focus on water is because it is so important for our health. We can't survive without water, and we need water faster than we need food. Water is key for essentially all functions in our body. It helps us stay hydrated. It helps with our energy levels. So if you're feeling low in energy, you might be dehydrated. It also helps with digestion. So if you're one of those people that is also on a gut health journey, if you're not focusing on your water intake, you're missing out on a lot of potential benefits. Drinking water also helps to decrease bloating, and it also helps to improve our skin. On top of that, it's really important for our cells. It helps to deliver nutrients to our cells and remove any waste products away from them. And these are just a few examples. I also notice a lot of people reach for snacks when they feel like they're really low in energy. And a lot of the times, yeah, they probably are hungry and can use something, especially if it's been a few hours between meals. But that being said, if you're finding that you're getting hungry kind of quickly, maybe check in on your hydration levels. When was the last time you had a good glass of water? Because a lot of the time we're actually really dehydrated, and this can result in symptoms such as low energy, headaches, irritability, nausea, just to name a few. If you're like a lot of people, and it's not that you're trying to not drink water, but you kind of just forget about it, one really simple tip is to always make sure you have a refillable water bottle with you. Especially if you're going to work or you're going to school, then this can be a really easy way to just have water on hand instead of having to always go and buy one or go find a water fountain. And if you're at home, you can definitely just make sure that you have a glass of water beside you, you. Like in all my videos I've shown, I always have one beside me because I want to stay hydrated, and this is a really easy way to do it. Now, step number 2 is to get more fiber. If you know me, I love to talk about fiber. It is one of my most favorite topics because I really do see the benefit of it. First and foremost, fiber really helps to keep us full and satisfied. If you're eating a meal that doesn't have a lot of fiber in it, and let's say it's full of simple carbs, then what's going to happen is simple carbs are really easy to break down, and so our body digests it quickly. You're going to have a rise in your blood sugar and then a quick drop. So you're only going to feel energized and full for a very short period of time. But fiber takes a while to break down, and it sits in our stomach a lot longer. So you end up having a more gradual increase in blood sugar and a gradual drop. So you actually stay full longer, and your energy levels are also lasting a lot longer. Fiber is also really important for strengthening our gut, and a lot of people want to have a healthy gut because it is linked to so many health benefits. So you want to make sure that you're strengthening it. And how do you do this? Well, you have more fiber. The best way to think of fiber is like lifting weights before your gut. What fiber does is it helps to keep your gut exercised and keep it moving so that it's doing its job and staying strong. By making sure that you're getting enough fiber, you're keeping your gut in good shape. On top of this, a lot of research has shown that consuming a diet high in fiber is linked with lower rates of chronic disease. So for example, it's associated with lower levels of heart disease, colon cancer, as well as diabetes. Now, the problem is that most people actually don't get enough fiber in their diet, and I would say many don't even meet half of their needs. Now, for the average person, they need about 25 grams to 40 grams per day, but this can vary from each individual. That being said, some people don't even get 10 grams of fiber. So after your first week, when you focus on drinking more water, the next thing I want you to do is try to get in more fiber. And all I want you to focus on is adding one new high fiber food a day. That's it. Don't need to add more, don't need to go crazy, just one fiber source a day. Now, there are a lot of sources of fiber. Vegetables are one of the best sources. Majority of vegetables have a very good source of fiber, so I would definitely start there. Many fruits are also high in fiber, especially those that have skin and you're able to eat them. Those are really high in fiber as well. Other examples would be oats, air-popped popcorn. Yes, popcorn is an excellent source of fiber. Many different whole grains, and a lot of different legumes. So think black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, lentils, and there are so many more examples. Honestly, a quick Google search and you'll find many high fiber foods. But one thing I want you to keep in mind is that if you are new to fiber foods and you're not really used to eating them on a regular basis, I really want you to start slow. That's why we're starting with one fiber source a day, and then you can always build up from there. But I want to make sure that you're starting slow and you also drink plenty of water, because if you're not drinking plenty of water with the fiber, this is when people start to feel really bloated and maybe their stomach hurts. So by starting slow and getting enough water, this is a great way to train your gut to get used to it, and you will notice a difference over time. Now, step number 3 is to set boundaries for better sleep. I want you to keep in mind that wellness and health is not just about nutrition. It's also about our fitness, our sleep, our stress levels. All of these things affect our well-being. So we need to focus on more than just the foods we eat, but other lifestyle habits that we have. If we have crappy sleep, this is really, really bad for our health. And I'm not being dramatic. Getting a bad sleep is linked with a lot of health issues. First and foremost, it can cause a huge shift in our hormones. So for example, if you're not getting enough sleep, research has actually found that people who are sleep deprived have higher levels of ghrelin, which is our hunger hormone, and lower levels of leptin, which is our fullness hormone. So as a result, you may notice that you're eating more during the day because you're tired. So this can cause us feeling really irritable, have really large mood swings, and a lot of these shifts in hormones can ultimately lead to chronic disease, especially if we're not getting enough sleep on a regular basis. Okay, so that sounds great, but how do we accomplish this? Well, it's time to start setting boundaries with our phones. I know personally, I have stayed up way too late scrolling on my phone, watching videos, and what I think is 10 minutes ends up being like an hour. I want you to keep in mind that our phones are designed to keep us on them. This isn't some conspiracy theory. All of the apps that we use want us to be on them because that's how they make money. So they're going to do anything they can to put our eyeballs on those screens for as long as possible. And if you actually sit back and think about how it works, it's almost like a slot machine. So if you are on your phone and you're scrolling, right? What ends up happening is you see a video you like and you start watching it, and then you like it. and then right away a new one comes, and another one, and another one. And so we're getting these small dopamine hits that actually get us craving more. So we end up watching much longer than we had planned to. Now, of course, I'm not telling you to get rid of your phone, never use it again. I use my phone a lot, especially to make social media content and stay in contact with people. So I'm not telling you to get rid of it. We just need to set some healthy boundaries. So for this week, I want you to go into your settings on your phone and set app restrictions. Now, it will depend on the type of phone you have, but if you have an Apple iPhone, then there are really good restrictions you can set in place. So for example, you can go into sleep mode and it will restrict your access to certain apps and allow certain ones that you give permission for. You can also set app limits on your phone as well. So for example, setting a 1-hour app limit to TikTok or to Instagram or to YouTube, whatever is best and right for you. One really useful tip is that I recommend that your phone closes your apps and puts restrictions on them at least 30 minutes before bed, ideally maybe even an hour if you really want to go all out. The reason why I suggest this is because it gives your brain enough time to relax. If we're constantly on that dopamine feedback loop, we're not going to rest our brains. We are staying awake and alert, and this can affect our quality of sleep, and it might be really difficult to fall asleep. Now, if you've gotten into bed, one thing I also recommend is not having it beside you. I know a lot of us use it as an alarm clock, so you can still have it as your alarm clock, but maybe put it on the opposite side of the room. First of all, this is going to help you prevent snoozing in the morning, but really the main focus is that you're not going to instinctively go grab your phone. There are so many times that I don't even realize I'm grabbing my phone. I'm sure many of you have also opened, for example, YouTube or Instagram, and then you close it, and then you reopen the app 2 seconds later, not realizing you were just on it. So these are problems we need to kind of be aware of. So by putting it across the room, you kind of have to go out of your way to go get it, which can help prevent you from going on it, especially when you're trying to relax and unwind. Now you may wonder, okay, fine, but like I'm not just gonna stare at the wall for 30 minutes before bed, like what can I do? Well, there are a lot of different things that you can do, and you kind of have to find what works best for you. I wouldn't recommend going on another screen, such as your laptop or watching TV. I would really focus on things that don't involve a screen because it's going to help you start to unwind again. So one thing you can do is you can read a book. I definitely love reading before bed. I actually find it helps me fall asleep a lot faster than if I don't read. You can also journal, and your version of journaling may differ. It can be kind of talking about how your day went, what you want to do tomorrow, or just get some thoughts onto paper. You can also pray, you can do meditation, or really anything that helps you unwind. Finally, the fourth step is I want you to express some gratitude. Now, see, I told you we're really keeping things simple for these 4 steps. Nothing too crazy. This one, I just want you to start focusing on more positive things in your day. The reason why I want you to focus on this is because being thankful and grateful for the things in our life actually sets a positive note on our mood and our outlook on life. So each day, I want you to think of at least 5 things that you're grateful for in your life. I know some days it can be really difficult, but I want you to challenge yourself to just see some of the positive things that are happening. I do recommend doing this first thing in the morning because it will set the tone for your day, but if you can't do it in the morning for some reason, you can do it at nighttime or whatever time works best for you. But find 5 things. You can just think of it in your mind, you can write it down, you can say it out loud. Now, the reason I have this in the first 4 steps and before we get into anything heavy, because it can really affect how you approach goals. As humans, it is really normal to want to make changes and become better. The issue is that a lot of us focus on our flaws, what we're doing wrong, and all of our goals are circled around that. You may hear yourself saying things like, I hate the way I look, I don't have the job I want, everybody has things that I don't have, I'm not making enough progress in my life, I'm really awkward, I don't have a lot of friends, I don't have a lot of followers, my car sucks, all of these really negative things. So it's really important that we actually start to see the good in our lives and what we actually do have, because this helps to put us into a positive mindset. When we are being more positive with ourselves, we're also nicer to ourselves. And this helps us focus on goals that are going to help us and make us feel happy and continue on feeling positive, instead of goals that are, I have to lose 20 pounds because I don't like the way I look. Instead, your goal might be somewhat similar, but you're focusing on it a little bit differently. So instead, you're focusing on, I'm going to eat a more nutritious diet, I'm going to get more movement into my life because I care about myself and my health. So I want you to make changes because you care about yourself, not because you don't like yourself and you're punishing yourself. Make changes because you like who you are and you deserve good things, not because you think you're horrible and only deserve punishments and bad things things in life, because you don't. I know this one might seem a little woo-woo, but it really isn't, and it's something that can really change the outlook on your life. But I promise you that when you start seeing your life from a more positive mindset, there are going to be really good changes that happen to you, and you'll be more motivated to make them. So that's it for part 1 of the series. I hope you enjoyed these 4 steps. Take as long as you want to implement them, and once they become part of your routine, then we will dive into video 2, where we can move on to some more complex things that will also help you achieve your wellness journey. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video, what things you're going to implement, and how you're going to go about it. And I'll see you in the next video.